Let's talk iPhone. Hi, I'm George Lim.
And I'm Ryan Dawes.
And this is our Apple predictions video. As you probably know by now, October 4th.
Yep.
October 4th, Apple have released the official invite saying that they're going to be talking about the iPhone.
A little bit cryptic as always.
Yep, the invite is simply 4 iPhone icons. You've got the calendar icon with Tuesday the 4th, which is the day. And then you've got the clock icon, 10 a.m., which is the time. And then you've got the map, one infinite loop, which is the place. But then you've got the phone icon with just a 1 in a badge.
Ooh, ominous.
Ooh, what does the 1 in a badge mean, Ryan? You had a theory behind this.
See, the one usually on the phone icon usually is when you've missed something. It's like a missed call, isn't it?
Missed call or a missed
so sort of I wouldn't say a prediction, but my thoughts is that it's saying that there's one thing missing, that there's a phone missing. And for me, that could be the entry-level one that people are talking about. It could be like the 4S, because of Apple would obviously, if they had an entry-level phone on the market, they would utterly dominate the entire market. Everyone would be able to have an iPhone. If they made one cheaper, which obviously they can make cheaper
with a 3.5-inch screen.
With a 3.5-inch screen.
Yeah.
And then obviously if you want to go with the high end, then obviously the iPhone 5.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a few theories behind it myself, which is that the 1 means missed. As you know, on the iPhone, it means missed something. And they missed the conference in July, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which is when they normally have it. So basically it's like, we have the missed call, we're going to now answer that missed call.
Yeah.
Because this is the icon that is on our phone. This is the icon on our phone at the moment. We have a missed call. So we're going to come back and challenge this missed call.
Yeah.
The other thing I had, which was a very out there theory. I don't think many people on the internet have had this theory. But it has a 1 in the badge. So could they just drop the 5? Because as much as the iPhone, the original iPhone is called the iPhone, 1, many people know it as the iPhone 2G, because it was on the 2G network. 2, it's been 5 years since the release of it.
As I said, they can't keep going on with these updates. They can't end up with the iPhone 25.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to have to reset it at some point. Even if they actually end up calling it, getting rid of all numbers altogether and just calling it iPhone and iPhone old. Or like older iPhone, or, pre-iPhone.
Yeah.
So, that 1, it's cryptic. We're obviously going to find out. I reckon Tim Cook, his first performance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Just going back to sort of wild out there theories, I saw someone tell me the other day that they reckon it's going to be a landline phone.
A landline phone?
But I actually thought about it, and although I don't think that's what it is, that would be quite cool. That would be quite interesting.
What, the Apple landline phone?
They're not actually going to be called the Apple landline phone.
The iLandline.
The iLandline. But no, like it would be quite good. It'd be like a phone which sort of ran iOS, maybe a stripped down version. That like when you're like searching for businesses or whatever, then you could see a map of where the business is. You could search for contact.
So the iPad,
maybe like
but
run
with
Skype.
A phone.
Pretty much, yeah. It'll just be sort of. Like I said, that's a
very well out theory. I have never heard that theory.
It would be quite good. It would be quite good, I reckon. Because then you could have like Skype and stuff on it as well. So if like you couldn't use a landline, then you could just switch to VoIP. But
I mean, I don't buy that at all. That's just so.
But I mean, people have tried to do
as
it
well as the iLandline. They're going to be releasing the iFridge and the iFridge freezer.
Are they? Is that going to have iPad stuck on the front of it?
Ice control.
Oh,
ice control. Anyway, I mean that 1. We're gonna find out what that 1 means next Tuesday. I mean, like I said, Tim Cook's first performance. It's gonna be interesting. I heard a rumor the other day that they saw him in a turtleneck and jeans during the dress rehearsal.
Oh Christ!
No, I don't think he's going to. I reckon he's going to be full suited up because that's what Tim Cook's like. Yeah. He likes to suit up.
The pressure's on him. I mean,
it is.
Jeff Bezos, obviously the Amazon guy, has already been cited as being the next Steve Jobs. The next guy and the little bit of the presentation that I watched, I can see why that they have pretty much just nicked Apple, Steve Jobs,
his style,
whole presentation.
There were actually on the subject of Steve Jobs. I've just literally had a theory about that 1 again. Missed.
Right.
Who are they going to miss?
Yeah.
I also thought that at the end of the keynote, with the one more thing, this would be an excellent touch. Whether they do it or not, if they do it, I have all the praise in the world for Apple. If they don't do it, if they literally go one more thing, just as a last time goodbye, Steve comes. I'm tearing up. No, as a last time goodbye. Steve comes on. Over it yet? Steve comes on and literally says, just says publicly, bye as the on stage guy.
You're making me tear up. I don't even care that much about Apple.
The thing is with Steve's departure, I don't want to segue too much, but Steve's departure is such a big thing in just the general tech industry.
Everyone I know, but even people's parents I know knew Steve Jobs, and obviously it is a whole generational thing as well. I mean, obviously we're the sort of younger generation, but even sort of people of the older sort of generation, they grew up with Steve Jobs being the head of Apple.
So I reckon that'll be a really nice touch at the end. Whether they do it or not, again, we'll find out on Tuesday. But I do personally just want to see Steve on stage one more time for his big turtle.
I think they will, actually.
In the turtleneck.
I do think they will. If he is well enough, I think he will.
Oh yeah, if he's well enough, of course.
Yeah.
Again, we gave all our best to Steve if he ever does come across two guys on a couch talking about Apple. Anyway, we'll get on to the iPhone 5 before I start crying. We'll get on to the iPhone 5 before I start crying. iPhone 5.
I come out of nowhere. I just get emotional over the product's not really good.
What is it going to include?
Well, obviously the specs are the fact that it's supposed to have an elongated home button. Please stand by. We are currently experiencing emotional difficulties. Services will resume soon.
Anyway, welcome back. So, the iPhone 5's design. Mm-hmm. We've had case manufacturers and other rumours basically coming out saying that it's going to have an elongated home button. The home button's going to be wider than it is
it's supposed to have like gesture controls or something, supposedly.
Which, I mean, obviously case manufacturers, I don't know how they get the specs, if they do, if it does turn out to be true. But literally, it's people like, no, not officially people like Zag, but like copiers of Zag.
With Casemate, I think, as well.
Yeah, where they've literally got their plastic case on the front and it's just got a longer home button.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I think it is, I think if I was to go down that route, I think if I was to design the iPhone, that's where I would go next. I think it'd be quite nice to have gesture controls on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, as well as the elongated home button, it's also got a 4-inch screen. It's got a larger screen.
Yeah, I'm quite excited about that.
It's not that I don't want a 4-inch screen, and it's not that I think a 4-inch screen is going to be too big. I just think that the 3.5-inch screen is fine. It doesn't need to be any bigger.
No, see, I mean, that's the only reason I still use the PSP a bit. It's because it had the slightly bigger screen. I think that was only 3.7, I think, something like that. But if they can make a bigger screen without making the device bigger, then go for it.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I've played with the HTC HD, which I think it has a 5-inch screen. I've also played with the Desire HD, which I think has a 4-inch screen, I think. And they're just bigger
devices, aren't they? Yeah, well, I think they're keeping the same size, just making the screen bigger, so it'll be more towards the edges. So obviously this is diagonal size as well, if I remember.
Well, yeah, I suppose it does. There is a bit of room to accommodate that on the phone itself. I mean, again, I'm not particularly bothered if they stand up and say, "Today we are releasing the iPhone 5 as a 4-inch screen. Ta-da! Bob's your uncle." I'm not going to go out and buy one. You know, if it's just the screen. I mean, obviously it's not just going to be the screen.
I was going to say,
there are other rumours saying obviously it's going to have an 8-megapixel camera with 1080p video.
Yeah.
Again, something I'd be very interested in. Obviously we're recording with my new camcorder now.
Yeah.
But if we had 1080p on the iPhone with a wider view angle, that's something that bugs me with the iPhone 4. When you're recording, say like, I have a on-the-go blog channel, and when you're recording it, it cuts off like your head, so you've literally got like a face on the screen, which is annoying considering you're like stretched out as far as you can. Obviously, it's designed to be the other way around, doing those.
Some more features to the video recording would be quite good as well. Like I know Skype recently with their iOS update, they have video stabilization technology, so that when you're recording on the move,
I think Apple want to keep their apps as minimalistic as possible.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
They like powerful but simplicity, don't they?
Yeah, but like with the camera app, it literally has a zoom, a light, HDR.
Well, stabilization, you don't have to do anything with it. Obviously, it just stabilize the video.
Yeah, but what I mean is like they are really a lot about the apps, and they want the developers to be like, hey, design these apps for the features people want.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. We've got the basic stuff. No, because you have a choice. You can go out and have a grid on your. Actually, that's part default now. But you can have like, night mode, and you can have, image stabilization, and all these different features. I mean, before Zoom was implemented, which I thought was stupid that it took so long, but there were apps that had Zoom in it.
Yeah.
So, they're very much catering to developers who want to...
yeah, I mean, video recording didn't come until an app did, didn't it? Video recording was originally an app.
Video recording was an app, but it was a workaround. It was a 20 frames per second app where it would literally just take pictures really, really quickly. And then when the 3GS came out, 3GS was the first phone with native video recording.
As I say, I wasn't really interested in iPhone until the 3GS. That's where I started off.
There you go.
So
next, we want to go on to iOS 5 and what we think is going to happen on Tuesday.
I think both of us are in agreement that there's a lot of hidden features in iOS 5.
There's a lot more to iOS 5. First of all,
they did say back when they announced it that there was 100 new features. They didn't say how big these features were going to be. Obviously, they hinted that they're going to be quite small, but I think there's a lot hidden there.
It's actually funny you should say that, because a lot of the features actually have come in the betas. But I reckon there's even more than those 100.
Yeah, I do.
There are thousands of new features, I reckon. Right? You got Nuance technology and Siri technology. Both of them great voice technologies.
Definitely.
And Nuance there to do voice to text on screen.
Yep.
You got Siri for searching and stuff like that.
Obviously, this is supposed to actually talk back to you as well. So if it needs you to clarify anything, then it will ask you the questions back. So it actually is like talking to a real person.
It's
creepy. Like having a robot in your pocket, literally.
I mean, iOS 5, we got voice control coming. We know that's coming actually because we've seen someone dig around in the betas.
Well, they've definitely seen it in the text app, haven't they?
Well, they've had to dig it out because I've got iOS 5 beta and I couldn't find it anywhere.
No, this has been something that's been on Android for quite a while. They're just taking it to the next level.
Yeah. What else is coming? What else do you reckon? Facebook integration, as well as Twitter integration, because they've got Twitter integration at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of rumours that Facebook has been, patching up their relationship with Apple.
Yeah, because they want to try and take on Google Plus, obviously. So they want to.
And Apple want to take on Google, because obviously Google Plus native to Android, Facebook native to iOS.
Yeah. So it makes sense for Facebook to team up, and as we'll mention later on in the video, Facebook are supposed to be doing a presentation of themselves at Apple.
At the Apple event?
The Apple event.
I thought it was a little bit later.
No.
But yeah, no, there's going to be... I reckon we're going to... At the Facebook part, we're going to see the iPad app. Finally. Either that... Although I did read the other day that the guy who developed the iPad app for Facebook left Facebook.
Yeah, because it's done Google since May, wasn't it?
He finished it. Yeah, he finished it in something ridiculous like May, and they just haven't released it, and he doesn't know whether they will or not.
That must be annoying as a developer. To just finish something that early and just not be able to release it.
And also because of their new timeline thing, I reckon we're going to be seeing a new iPhone app, as well as the new iPad app. And as we've seen Project Spartan, the new HTML5 app.
I'm excited for Project Spartan. Being able to run apps on the go in the HTML5 is going to be quite good.
Yeah, obviously you got your Spotify's and your Get Glues and your Go Mizus and stuff like that.
Farmville, if you're going
Farmville
has to be mentioned every single time. If you're mentioning
Facebook, you need to mention Farmville.
I cringe every time I say it, to be fair.
Facebook integration. And then there's obviously Facebook Deep integration, where you can post pictures direct to Facebook from the Photos app, post videos direct from the YouTube app and stuff like that.
Yeah, post what you're listening to.
So Facebook could be interesting. I also read that there's actually going to be a Twitter conference on the 12th of October.
Yeah, to discuss iOS 5.
And there's going to be more iOS 5, so whether or not, there's going to be more Twitter goodness
Yeah, I don't really know how much further they can go.
I mean, they
It
could
is
have a
already
native
system
built-in.
level.
They could have a native built-in like notifications or center like widget to post directly to Twitter. Because at the moment you can only do it if you are sharing media. You can only do it if you're sharing a YouTube video, photo, or whatever. But with Notification Center, I reckon that's also going to be opened up. They're going to release an SDK for Notification Center itself, so that developers can literally develop apps. I actually saw a really good video on YouTube of the concept of having these little notifications, like little widgets in Notification Center. So you can scroll across and be like, Facebook contacts, Facebook newsfeed.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Scroll across. Oh look, Pandora controls, iTunes controls.
So that's
Spotify
interesting because that's
controls.
something you were always quite against, widget sort of type.
I mean, I've always been against widgets because I've never really used them. But I reckon if they're there and they're implemented right, sort of thing.
Yeah. See, I'm still really excited for Windows Phone 7, and that's why I quite like the live tiles, because they're like widgets and apps built into one.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I've always had with widgets, is particularly on HTC, which is the fact that they're all over the place. Like the customization of widgets goes that one step too far for me, where you literally, because you literally have like the weather widget, and then like directly underneath you got the clock widget, and then like directly underneath that you got a Facebook widget, and then next to that you got the Twitter widget. It's just too much happening on one screen.
Yeah, see, that's
With-
what
with-
we had this discussion before. That's what I like about it, is the fact that it's just so much power features. It's not the simplicity of Apple kind of products that is just, as on their press invite, just a calendar, the clock, it's not just simple. There's more going on.
There's more
actual-
than meets the eye. And then like back to the concept I was talking about is at the moment you scroll to the right, you got all your app pages. You scroll to the left, you get to Spotlight, and then it stops.
I've never used Spotlight, I don't think.
I have, but
Ever.
but like, and then you scroll to the left again, you get Notification Center again
Yeah.
instead of just swiping down. Because on the Mac, if you scroll across, you get your dashboard.
Yeah. See,
Right.
widgets would be nice there, like a dashboard type.
Yeah, so you scroll to the right, you get apps. Scroll to the left, you get Spotlight. Scroll to the left again, you get Notification Center. Scroll to the left
See, how
again.
much do you use Spotlight? Like, I don't know whether, well, maybe you guys can comment on the video whether you use it, but I'd rather Spotlight went. If I could just scroll to the left and I could have a few widgets there, like a dashboard, then...
Well, I reckon it'd be doubtful because Apple don't really let you have choices, but if you could move Spotlight to the end, if the widgets do come the way I'm saying, move Spotlight to the end of the widgets, so you could literally scroll to the left and have widgets first.
Yeah.
I mean, I use Spotlight quite a bit. It's when, you know,
that's okay.
when
I
your
do.
phone's cluttered and you've got like all these apps, you've got all these folders, and you just want to find that app really quickly. You just scroll to the side, type it in.
Yeah.
Boop.
I suppose so. Yeah, it depends on how organized you are things. I mean, you start putting everything in folders now. Me, I'm very OCD with my folders. Everything has to be in exactly right folder so I can find everything instantly.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to think if someone got hold of your phone and hit that reset home screen layout button. I have seen his
I've
phone.
got my murder eyes on now.
And then we go on to the iPad 2. What? Yeah, the iPad 2 released earlier this year. A report has come out by Peter Minsk.
Mizek?
Misek? M-I-S-E-K.
Yeah.
He's saying the iPad 2 HD existed.
Yes, it did. And in fact, they had 1 million units produced, and they've had to recall them all because they're going to just focus on the iPad 3 now, apparently, which he quotes as being available late January.
Which would be interesting. I mean, the iPad 3 coming late January would make sense, because that's roughly the iPad time. Whether we'll see it on Tuesday, I don't know. It's an odd one because Apple have broken the cycle.
Yeah, it is. They've got to get back into their cycle this year. I
Well,
think that
maybe they restart an entire cycle.
Yeah, it does seem that way. It seems like now is going to be the time for the iPhone, and iPad's going to be coming again at the start of the year. So
iPhone in time for the holiday season. What else happens at the holiday season? If people don't want a phone, iPod. The iPod, you've got... iPod has always been around this time of year, November, right before Christmas.
yeah,
Because the iPod is a Christmas device. You know, you don't buy someone a phone for Christmas. Unless, you know, it's your kids or something like that. But iPods, you could buy that for a friend. If you had the money, you could go, hey, Ryan, you know, have an iPod for Christmas. And that is why the iPod has always been a Christmas device. That is why it's always been the end of the year. So I would be interested to see if Apple actually do say something about the iPod on
see,
Tuesday.
the rumours was the iPod's getting 3G. which is going to make
The
it more like
Touch.
iPhone. Yeah, an iPod Touch.
I'm hesitant about that one.
So a lot of the other iPods are dying off now, aren't they? I mean, they're
Well,
supposedly
yeah.
killing the classic.
I hope they don't.
finally.
I hope they don't. The click
See,
wheel.
that's nostalgia for you. For
I
me
mean,
is-
the classic. Not only is it nostalgia, it's the only device left with the click wheel.
yeah,
So I reckon if they're gonna, it is also known as like the first proper device to kind of go, this is new Apple.
Mm.
You know, it's the first of their non-PC devices, really.
yeah.
So I reckon if they're gonna get rid of
nostalgic
it,
sort of stuff.
if they're gonna get rid of it, I reckon if they're gonna get rid of it, you gotta kill it with a bang. You gotta go 500 gigabyte version, limited edition, last version we're ever making.
Yeah, yeah,
Something like
I
that.
suppose so.
You know, there has
It's
to be.
got to send it off with.
They
a-
gotta send it off
send it
somehow.
off
They
with a
can't just be
party.
like, today we are killing the classic. Next, you know, I reckon the classic's gonna have more of it because they're gonna.
It does have to have more of a send off, I must admit. Just because of people like you.
No, well, it's not just because of people like me. Like I said, it is the first of Apple's.
Yeah,
Real
but it is
launch.
a nostalgic thing.
It's a nostalgic
Yeah,
thing.
so it's people.
They're all
like,
going multi-touch now, which
fanboys
makes.
that care about it. For me, is a device that's dead.
But Apple are fanboys of themselves, so they're gonna.
Precisely.
They're,
I
hopefully
totally agree
they're gonna
with you.
save
I
it.
totally agree with you. Yeah.
You know, I mean, they made a U2 version back in 2002.
Yeah, I remember that.
So you know, if they
And,
don't make a farewell
Product
version.
Red, Product Red, which went to some charity as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no. Product Red has always been around. They're still selling Product Red now, which goes to, what's that company it goes to? It goes to who is it? I can't remember who it goes to now. I think it's Red Cross, which would
That would
make
make
sense. But no, they're also rumored to kill the Shuffle, which I hope dies. Because I've never liked the Shuffle. The Shuffle has always been that device in the back of my head, especially the third Shuffle.
It's
which
good
had
for
no
a certain
buttons.
type of people. It's good for
Runners
basically
and
runners.
sports, yeah.
Yeah.
But like the third Shuffle just made me cringe, which was the one with no controls on it at all.
Yeah, no, that was.
That made me cringe.
Yeah, I had to sort of rub my eyes when I was sort of seeing that.
And you're like,
Didn't
hang
like that
on,
enough
no
today
controls.
anyway.
The controls are on the headphones, which has been great on the iPhone because you've got the double controls. You got either the ones on screen or the headphones themselves.
Yeah.
But if it's just headphones, you lose those headphones. You're buggered. You can't use it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's the same with the
The,
first Shuffle. The first Shuffle had a special dock to sync with your computer.
Yeah.
If you don't have that dock, you can't use it.
Yeah. I'm liking that. I do still quite like that iPod Nano, the new one.
That's the one iPod Nano I've not liked.
Is it?
Because they've gone, we're going touchscreen with everything, which I agree, I completely get why, but they've gone, we're going touchscreen with everything, here's the Nano with the world's smallest touchscreen. You're like,
But I do just want it as a watch. That's all it is. It's just a
I have
real
a friend who
geeky
actually,
accessory.
I have a friend who actually has it as a watch.
I'll get mugged, but
Because it's got that clock app as well.
yeah, that's what I mean. I just want to leave it on there and just get.
Although listening to music would be a bit awkward. So anyway, what do you guys think is going to happen on Tuesday? Tuesday's going to be a big day. I mean, it's Tim Cook's first keynote.
Yep,
It's one of the first keynotes, one of the first big keynotes since the iPod. One of the. I mean, we've had little ones like.
I'd say, as you've always said, Cupertino is. Whenever they've held things at the campus, it's always been the big announcements. But obviously, this time is supposedly just because they couldn't book the other place.
Moscone, yeah.
Moscone, yeah.
I mean, they've always revealed the iPhone at Moscone, but they're like one of their biggest, in my opinion, announcements was the iPod. I mean, since then they've had iOS launches and iOS beta previews and stuff like that. They actually had an event once which wasn't actually invited to the press; it was all developers only. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday in terms of iPhone, because we know the iPhone's coming. Everything else is all speculation. Whether they reveal whether they mention the iPad, they'll mention it.
Well,
in
that's another
sales.
theory you had the other day, is the fact that it would be quite funny if, like, literally a new iPhone didn't come. Like, literally, it does only say, let's talk iPhone.
What,
As
and
if
they all talk
literally
iOS
only
5?
did just talk iOS, and everyone just had a massive anticlimax.
Yeah, and then Apple would get bombed by developers.
Yeah, pretty much. But
We're releasing the iBomb app for your iPhone. So anyway, Let us know what you think about Tuesday. Do you reckon that Apple are going to be revealing some big stuff? You reckon they'll be revealing some less big stuff? What do you think? Leave us in the comments below or email us at techbrits@gmail.com.
Obviously, follow us on Twitter at TEChBrits. You can follow me, Ryan Dawes, at Sir_Dawes.
Or you can follow me at George Lim, that's J's instead of GE's. And until then, please subscribe and keep it appley. Sorry, I had to add that. Let's talk iPhone.
You're not allowed to say that. You look like Mark Zuckerberg.